Rightio. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. See if we can't find the stream. There it is there. The audio is working. That's good to see. Or good to hear, rather. Stream's up, chat's up. We're all good to go. Fantastic. Hello, everyone, and welcome to round 10 of the PlayStation America series here on Race Spec Esports. I'm Lane Everingham, your commentator for this event. And this time we're racing at Bahrain International Circuit for the Bahrain Grand Prix. The 3.63 mile 15-turn circuit was constructed in 2004 and designed by track-making Supremo Herman Tilke. It served as the first ever racetrack in the Middle East to host a Formula One Grand Prix and is generally regarded as a pretty solid racetrack. The circuit contains 3 DRS zones that lead into turns 1, 4 and 11. Turn 1 is usually the best overtaking spot, but we do see a fair bit of action into turn 4, not so much turn 11. There are a few hazards for the drivers to look out for, such as the harsh curbs at turns 5, 6 and 7, and the auto spin inside curb at turn 12. Both areas have claimed many drivers over online league racing history. One of the nicer things about Bahrain is the little to no chance of rain, and that usually makes for better racing and closer qualifying. But before we focus on qualifying, there is a little bit of news to go through first from last week's race in Texas. No incident reports of note, or at least no decisions from the stewards, so the results stand from last week. KD is leading the championship on 199 points, followed by Renner Jr. on 139 points. 60 points separating the top two. KD's got a very, very healthy lead with only 6 rounds to go. Mighty Wombat is third on 138 points, just 1 point behind Renner Jr. Rafa is in fourth on 114, followed by Noah on 107. Completing the top 10, we have Darluto in P6, JBH in P7, Black Baller P8, Lake Show in 9th, and Oscar Toll rounds out the 10. In the Constructors, Mercedes are leading on 285 points, followed by Alfa Romeo on 291. So Mercedes, they've got a very, very healthy lead in the championship. They're going to be tough to beat. Aston Martin are third on 172. Williams are fourth on 170, just 2 points behind. Red Bull and Alpine are currently tied for 5th and 6th place. They've got 123 points respectively. And Ferrari on 113. Completing the rest of the order, we have AlphaTauri, McLaren and Haas. That's pretty much all the news out of the way. We can now focus on qualifying. We've got a few drivers out on track right now. Got a few drivers on flying laps. Black Baller, one of them. Rafixa, another. I do hope that qualifying is nice and tight, as Rafixa hasn't validated his flying lap. In the past 2 races that I've streamed in Pacific Elite and Pacific Tier 1, qualifying has been incredibly tight, which is fantastic to see. Bahrain is a circuit that generally everybody knows, as it's at the beginning, usually, of every championship season. But people know how to work their way around this racetrack. So I imagine qualifying will be relatively tight, as Noah has joined the session, so we should have 18 cars for the start of this race, which is really good to see. A very healthy field. Black Baller here is making his way down the back straightaway towards turn 11. It is a potential overtaking spot here at turn 11, but you don't usually see too much action here at this left-hander. In this right-hander, though, of turn 12, it's a bit of a different story. That inside curb is incredibly notorious for spinning cars out. I've done it several times over my league racing career from F1 2019 up to now. You avoid that inside curb as best you can, but you have to get as close to it as possible as well in order to optimize speed around the corner. As Black Baller will open DRS across the line to take pole position for now with a 1 minute 27.216. Icedev has also set a lap time at 29.5. KD's making his way through the middle sector now, as Mighty Wombat has jumped up to pole position with a 1 minute 26.674. Pole position from Pacific Tier 1 was a 1 minute 25.7. That was set by GeForce Crichton. I don't think anyone will get close to that, because it was a very mega lap. See how close the drivers can get, though. As KD, well, there you go. A 1 minute 25.9. He's already in the 29s. Quite impressive from KD, but not at all surprising, because I know KD, he loves this racetrack. Tell you what, Oscar, we'll use you to give ourselves a tour of this racetrack. Coming through the opening complex, through turns 1, 2 and 3. Quite a tricky complex to get right, as you're desperately trying to find traction, whilst also trying to get the car around the corners. Around turn 4, completing the first sector. It's heading into the S section of turns 5, 6 and 7. Turn 7, you have to be a bit careful of that inside curve and the outside curve. You can pick the car up and put it into a barrier if you're really, really unlucky. Generally, you just spin out, but sometimes it can put you into a barrier. Around turn 9 into turn 10. Most famous part of the racetrack. Down the back straightaway towards turn 11. Shift it up into top gear. Enter the corner at 310 kilometers an hour, hitting the apex at about 163. Now into turn 12. You have to avoid that inside curve as best you can. Lovely line there from Oscar as he heads around turn 13. And this straight away towards the penultimate corner of turn 14. This little bit here, it's actually 2 corners. You've got turn 14 here, and this little kink, that's turn 15 on the official track map. Opens DRS, crosses the line, jumps up to P5 with a 28 flat. Now, Snake and Beans has retired out of qualifying. Oh, there he is there. He's right in the middle of the racetrack. Oh, B. There's Rafa's coming up to the scene now. Oh, dear. There he is. It's really unfortunate there for Snake and Beans. The time he did set was a 1 minute 29.3. It's a fair chance he might be starting from last position here in Bahrain, unless someone who hasn't set a time does exactly that. Rafa has crashed out of the final corner. He is out of qualifying and will more than likely start from plumb last. As Lob comes around that final corner onto the scene, fortunately Rafa's car has despawned. Crosses the line to set a 30.0. Darluto, he set a 39.6, that isn't at all competitive, so I'm sure he'll be looking to improve by quite a significant margin. Down towards the hairpin at turn A, brings it down to second gear, short shifting to third on the exit to find traction. Up and over the crest into turns 9 and 10. Now, if you have ABS, this section isn't really a problem, but if you do not, you'll see a lot of locking up into that complex. It's quite a traditional thing to see, if I remember correctly as well. ABS is rather helpful here at Bahrain. Quite a nice assist to have on. Around turn 12, avoiding that inside curb as Darluto goes purple to the middle sector. I think JBH has just jumped up to P3 as well with a 1 minute 26.8. Heading down towards the penultimate turn of turn 14. Exiting turn 15, the final corner. Heading down the main straightaway now. Cross the line to set a 26.5. Jumps up to P2. KD, whereabouts are you? You're making your way through the middle sector. Mighty Wombat is heading into the final sector now. Currently P3 with a 1 minute 26.674. It's only just behind Darluto, who just set that 26.5. It's good to see that bot's already here. Just give me a second, chat. Just doing some cleaning up. There we go. Mighty Wombat coming out of turn 2, around turn 3, up towards turn 4 with DRS wide open. He'll end to the right-hander, just over 300 kilometers an hour. Brings it down to third gear. Keeps it in third on the exit, no short shifting from the Williams driver. And he's down by a tenth of a second in the first sector. Making his way around turn 8 now, nice and tidy through there. As KD has started a flying lap. See if he can improve Around turns 9 and 10. Nice and steady there from Wombat. Keeping it within the white lines. KD makes his way around turn 1, through turn 2, up the hill around turn 3. He's making his way down towards turn 4 now. Doing at 309 kilometers an hour. Brings it down to 4th gear. Not bothering to use 3rd. As Wombat has spun. That is at the exit of turn 11, heading into turn 12. So this lap is well and truly over. KD is up by a 10th of a second, almost a 10th of a second in the first sector. Around turns 9 and 10, Lake Show retiring. He has crashed out at turn 12, the exit of turn 12. Then another driver retiring in that section of the racetrack. You do have to be awfully mindful going through that first sector. As I think Flavius has made a mistake at turn 3. Either that or he's trying to get out of the way of somebody. KD up by a 10th in the middle sector. He's only got a couple of corners to negotiate now. Turns 14 and 15. Get on the brakes. Brings it down to 4th gear. Clips the apex nicely. It's a nice run on the exit as well. Open DRS. He'll cross the line to set a 1 minute 25.830. He's now got a 7/10 margin to Darluto in P2. It's a pretty big gap between the top two. And a junior currently 3rd with a 26.6. He is only 5 thousandths of a second in front of Mighty Wombat. Black Baller, I believe, has just improved to a 27 flat. Currently about a 10th and a half behind his teammate JBH, who has just started an outlap. Oscar making his way through the opening complex. Are you on a flying lap, buddy? Oh, not anymore. He's invalidated at turn 3, cutting a little bit too much there. Rafixa crossing the first sector split. He is up by half a 10th of a second. Nice little improvement. The bulk of the time that can be found is here in the middle sector. A lot of corners to negotiate here in the middle sector. Around turns 9 and 10. Very tidy there from the harsh driver. Not wanting to use too much of the outside curb, and that's probably a wise thing to do. You want to be on a nice flat surface when you get on the power. Getting on the rumple strip on the outside isn't exactly smooth. Oh, he's lost the back end at turn 11. I think he ran out onto the outside curb. The car didn't like that. So the back end stepped out. Rafixa gathered it up very nicely. But unfortunately, he went off track. And as a result, his lap time is now invalid. McBuller, he's entering the pits. He's run out of fuel. Right. Bit irritating that it brings out yellow flags. Oh, Lobber spun. That is at turn 8. The hairpin of turn 8. Now gets himself pointing back in the right direction. He's got 5 minutes left in qualifying, so he's got heaps of time. So if he wants to, he can go back into the pits and put on a new set of tyres if he feels the need to. Psycho getting ready. Laquito in the middle of a flying lap. Around turn 8, heading up the hill towards 9 and 10. Into the complex we go. 2nd gear. Missing the apex just by a little bit. Gets nice rotation though. Gets good power onto the road as well. Heading towards turn 11. Brings it down to 4th gear. Nice and gentle on the power. Keeping the car nice and stable. Oh, not stable there, though, at turn 12. The back end not cooperating at all with Laquito. But a great save. That could have been very, very disastrous for Laquito if he ended up into the barrier like his teammate Rafa earlier in qualifying. Yellow flags are about, I think that's Rafixa. It is. And it's the same section of racetrack. He might have been trying to get out of somebody's way as well. I'm not sure. Same section, so stands to reason he might have made the same mistake. JBH, got 2 more corners to negotiate. Comes out to the final turn, heading down the main straightaway now with DRS wide open. He'll cross the line to jump up to P3, setting a 1 minute 26.621. He is currently 0.08 of a second behind Darluto in P2 and 0.04 of a second in front of Renner Jr. in P4. It is very close towards the top. Oscar trying to get out of... that's JBH's way. JBH is on an in-lap, I'm pretty certain. Ooh. The fixer right behind a McLaren. That has to be Lob. Laquita, I think he'll be going back into the pits. Meanwhile, Noah, he was up by quite a bit, but he's invalidated his lap at some point. With the time remaining, he'll have to keep pushing. Either that, he won't have enough time, I think, to get back into the pits, put on fresh tyres, and get out again. It'll be very tight for Noah. And of course, there are rules and regulations that prevent drivers from cutting the track during qualifying, so he has to keep it on the racing surface, not do anything illegal. It's going to be very, very tight for Noah. As I believe Laquito has just jumped up to P9 with a 28.5, just a 10th behind Rafixa in P8. Meanwhile, Psycho here, he's going to complete a flying lap and jump up to P13 with a 1 minute 29.749. Nice, Dev. Are you on a flying lap? Let's see. Yes, you are. You're up by 0.3 of a second. A very healthy improvement. With that sort of improvement, he can jump up to P8. Let's see if he finds any more time here in the final sector. Around turns 14 and 15. Nice and easy in fourth gear. Nice and stable on the exit. Opens DRS. Crosses the line. Jumps up to P8 with a 1 minute 28.131. Solid effort there from Eistev. Oscar making his way through the opening sector. Currently P7 with a 28 flat. He needs to improve by a whole second to try and gain position. Black Baller, he's set a 27 flat compared to Oscar Toll's 28 flat. And Oscar is up by 3.5 tenths in the first sector. Speaking of which, Black Baller's making his way out to turn 8. Heading around 9 and 10. Brings it down to second gear. Short shifting on the exit, using a bit of that outside curb. There's Oscar just behind. Heading down towards turn 11 now. Braking at the 50 board, bringing it down to fourth gear. Keeps the car nice and stable through these high-speed S's. Crossing the sector split, he's up by just under a tenth. Oscar, he's up by 0.4 of a second. I don't think he'll be challenging for P6, but he will definitely improve and improve big. Black Baller around turns 14 and 15. For potentially the final time in qualifying, he's actually going to duck back into the pits and not bother setting another flying lap. Oscar crosses the line to set a 1 minute 27.467. He stays P7, but he's a lot further in front of Eistev now. Mighty Wombat is up by 0.02 of a second in the middle sector. He needs to find a tenth or so in this final sector to jump up to P2. Darluto, JBH and Renner Jr., their qualifying is over. You can see the checkered flag next to their name. Mighty Wombat will open DRS. He'll cross the line to jump up to P3 with a 1 minute 26.609. Missing out on P2 by 0.06 of a second. Meanwhile, KD is up in the first sector by 11 thousandths of a second. I mentioned earlier, the fastest time I've seen here in Race Spec was a 1 minute 25.7, and that was from Pacific Tier 1. The middle sector says he's down, and I think that'll be qualifying over for KD. He won't be improving, but he will definitely be starting on pole position with that lap time. No one will challenge that. And I think that is qualifying over as well. Everyone's ducking back into the pits. Oh, hang on. Oscar's up by 3.5 tenths here. He might indeed challenge P6 if he can string these final two corners together. Let's see. He's heading down the main straight. He opens DRS. He'll cross the line to stay P7. He improves to a 1 minute 27.245. It's not enough to jump up to P6. So there we are, qualifying over. And it's KD 1997, our championship leader, starting on pole position after setting a 1 minute 25.830 mega lap time from KD. He beats Darluto, who set a 1 minute 26.543. What's the gap exactly between the two? It's just over 0.7 of a second. Ah, unlucky Darluto. Yeah, you always got to keep an eye on the clock. Always got to keep an eye on it. And especially around racetracks like this where the lap is fairly lengthy. So the out lap and the in lap take a while. So yeah, you always got to keep an eye on that clock during qualifying. That's alright, you're starting P2, you're starting on the front row alongside KD. Outside of that front row, we have Mighty Wombat, P3, JBH and P4, Renner Jr. in 5th, followed by Black Baller in 6th, and Oscar Toll, Icedev, Shizant and Rafixa completes the top 10. Then we have Laquito, Psycho, Snake and Beans, Flavius, Lob, Noah, Rafa and Lake Show will start from the back. Lake Show crashing out at turn 12. Rafa we saw crash out at the final corner after losing control of his car. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Rightio. No, what do you know? It's not raining. Man, there's got to be one race where it does genuinely rain on dynamic weather. There has to be a mathematical chance of it happening. It can't just not happen. There has to be just one. Because it would throw everybody off. A wet weather race at Bahrain. Just be insane. I don't know. Getting ready to start the race. Drivers will be fine-tuning their strategy. The main strategy to go with is soft, medium, medium, soft, something like that. You do have to be careful with punctures. That's what the drivers found out in Pacific Tier 1. So you do have to be a bit careful with tyre wear, but the main strategy is soft to medium. Drivers setting off on their formation lap. Let's see what tyres everyone is starting on. There we go. Everyone on either softs or mediums. So the top 10, we have KD, Darluto, Mighty Wombat, JBH, Renner Jr., Black Baller, Oscar Toll, Icedev, Shizant, and Rafixa. All of them are starting on the soft tyre. They're worn soft tyres as well from qualifying. Outside of the top 10, we have Laquito. He's starting on the medium compound tyre. And we got Psycho and P12 starting on the soft tyre. Snake and Beats P13 on the medium compound tyre. Same with Flavius in P14. And Lob in P15. Noah starting P16. He's on the soft compound tyre. And he is bouncing around. Look at that car bounce. Ooh, dear oh dear. Noah's looking to be aggressive. Same with Psycho. They're trying to get in front of the medium runners. Try and keep up with the top 10. Maybe make up a few positions as well inside the top 10. And then basically compensate later on in the race. Got Rafa P17 on the medium compound tyre. And Lake Show starting from the back of the field in 18th place on the mediums as well. So we got, what's that? 6 drivers on the mediums, 12 drivers on the soft tyre. It's a healthy mix when it comes to strategy. No one is on the hard compound tyre, and for good reason. It's not an amazing tyre here at Bahrain. It's basically an emergency tyre if you get damaged early or if there's a very early safety car. You can jump onto the hard tyre and go to the end. No. I'm also glad to see it's a very healthy field. We've got 18 cars. It's good to see the attendance has been up compared to what it's been in the previous few weeks. I think that's partly due to the racetrack. Everybody knows Bahrain. I don't think I know of anyone that really dislikes this track. Oh, as Lob and Noah have been disqualified from the formation lap. So they get teleported onto the grid first. No, I think everybody just sort of respects this racetrack. Or they really enjoy it, like KD. I know that he really likes this racetrack. Lake Show's going to line up into his grid slot. We're going to get underway. Rightio, 18 cars ready to race. We got 10 red lights. And we're underway here in Bahrain. It's not a great start from Darluto. He's going to be challenged by JBH down towards turn 1. Black Baller trying to make positions as well in the other Ferrari. But it's KD who leads around turn 1, followed by JBH. Then Darluto. He's being challenged by Renner Jr., but Renner can't fight for third. Bit of shenanigans going on here with drivers changing places. A 3-second time penalty for Mighty Wombat for corner cutting. Interesting to see that come up as Shizant defending from Snake and Beans. Lob's trying to challenge for position. Oh, he spun out at the exit of turn 4. He gets the car pointed in the right direction, but he's now down in last place. Meanwhile, the leaders minding their own business. Black Baller and Oscar briefly battling there at turn 8 as they head around turns 9 and 10. Lake Show just behind. Lake Show has gone from 18th to 7th on the opening lap. Noah's made up a lot of places as well. He's just behind in P8. My goodness, look at that. 11 places gained. Noah's made up 8 himself. What great starts for these two. Now Noah, he's on the soft tyre. He would like to get by Lake Show, claw his way towards the cars in front. He needs to get by ideally as soon as possible. As they head around turns 14 and 15. KD with an 8/10 lead. Noah is ducking into pit lane. Already, he must have damage. Oscar close to Black Baller. Not close enough though to attack into turn 1. Black Baller just pulling away a little bit through 2 and 3. Oscar not bothering to use any battery either. Probably a wise thing, especially this early in the race. There's Psycho. He's right behind Laquito. Not close enough though, I think, to attack into turn 4. What's this going on in front? We have Rafa Icedev here in P11. Snake and Beans just in front in P9. As they're heading down the hill towards turn 8. Oh, Icedev outbrakes himself. He's going to lose a position because of that mistake. He falls behind Laquito. Yellow flags. That's Lob. He's crashed out at the exit of turn 7. Will we see a safety car? Not yet. No, I don't think we will see a safety car. But he's lost the control of the car here. Oh, he's upside down. He's upside down. Oh my goodness, I've never seen that before. Look at that. He's got his floor to the sky there. He has somehow flipped that thing over. I don't know how he's done that. No wonder he's out of the race. There's no recovering from that. Meanwhile, KD has now got almost a 1 second lead to JBH. Ideally, he needs to be outside of that 1 second range, and he's done that just now. But I think the Ferrari will get DRS, and he does. So he'll get a helping hand down this straightaway. He'll gain a 10th or 2 with the help of DRS. Let's see here. Oscar isn't close enough to attack here into turn 4. And Oscar has to put up with all the dirty air coming off the Ferrari through this high-speed S section as they head down the hill and around turn 8. Raph is right behind Snake and Beans as well. I better keep an eye on that train of cars in that mid-pack area. Heading down the back straightaway, Oscar has DRS, but the straight isn't long enough to try and go for it into turn 11 as Darluto gets a 3-second time penalty. Rafa, will he go for a move? He's a bit closer compared to Oscar Toll, but again, just not close enough to attack. Ooh, Psycho, Icedev, they were fairly close together at that point there into turn 11. Come around turn 12 now. Oh, running wide there, Icedev. Fortunately, he keeps control of the car. Rafa's very close to Snake and Beans, heading down towards turn 14. You can see the flashing light on the back of Snake and Beans' car. He's low on battery. Meanwhile, Oscar's going to go for position and overtake Black Baller. What about Snake and Beans here? Here comes Rafa. Got the slipstream, pulls out of it. He's down the inside into turn 1. There's Shizm just in... Oh, he's lagging a bit there. Side by side at the exit of turn 1. What a great bit of driving from Snake and Beans to hang on, but he's lost control. Oh, he managed to gather it back up pretty well there. Rafa looking down the inside into 4. Snake and Beans keeps the position. Good bit of driving there from the Williams driver. Heading down the hill towards turn 8, the hairpin. No one really in the position to battle. Never mind, Laquito down the inside of his teammate. His teammate fights back on the exit. So Rafa hangs on to P10. Oh, not a great run there from Snake and Beans. But he gets the drive out of the corner and pulls away. JBH has spun. There's Renner going by. JBH tumbles down the order behind his teammate. And here comes Lake Show as well onto the scene. He's got to run. He's alongside the Ferrari. JBH can't do a thing at this point, but he will get DRS down the main straightaway. Can he fight Lake Show into turn 1? Let's see. He's closing in at a rapid rate of knots. Lake Show moves to the inside. Snake and Beans has spun. Hang on. Oh, he's out. He's out of the race. He has crashed at the final corner, and JBH has gone by Lake Show. Lake Show trying to fight back though. Heading around turn 3. That's a warning. Heading down the straightaway. Lake Show has DRS. JBH can't fight down the inside. Oh, he's going to try here at the second half of the corner. But Lake Show gets better drive out to turn 4, so he hangs on to P6. So we've had 2 retirements, Snake and Beans and Lob. Both of them crashing out at 2 different parts of the racetrack. And no safety car. No safety car just yet. Heading down the back straightaway towards turn 11. JBH looking down the inside, cutting a lot of turn 11 there. Lake Show gets better drive on the exit of turn 11. JBH tries to fight, and he hangs on to the position. I think that's thanks to Lake Show backing off there. Trying to make sure both cars get through the corner, but also he gets DRS down the main straightaway because he's behind JBH. Shizzen's under a bit of pressure here. Here comes Rafa. Down towards turn 14. Rafa looking to the inside. Can't get it done there. There's Ice Dev and Psycho. Shizzen has got a horde of Red Bull just in his wing mirrors right now. He's going to have a meet and greet with them. Here it goes, Rafa. Laquito's coming. Same with Ice Dev. Laquito, does he go for it? He most certainly does. What a send from Laquito. And he gets it done. Icedev just behind. Rafa gives up the position to Laquito. Icedev almost goes into the back of Shizzen as they head down the straightaway towards turn 4. Shizzen has the inside line. And, oh no, Rafa fights back. Oh, and a spin. Shizzen spins at turn 4. He loses positions here. He drops down to 13th. He won't drop down any lower than that, unless he makes another mistake. But there we are. I think the driver who came out on top of all of that is Laquito. And he was right in the middle of that train. A big send into turn 1. Made it work. And Rafa had a bit of a moment through 2 and 3, which just allowed Laquito to get by. He's now into 8th. He's got a lot of clear track in front of him. And he's pulling away from his teammate. Black Baller half a second behind Oscar heading into turns 14 and 15. Losing a little bit of time to Oscar on the exit. Here we go. Got DRS. Look at the speed here with DRS enabled. Oscar, bit of a sitting duck. Black Baller looking down the inside. Backs out of it. Fair play. As Lob has left the session. Around turn 2, around turn 3. Opens DRS heading down towards turn 4. Won't be close enough to attack here. Psycho close to his teammate. Oh, who has overshot turn 1. Here comes Psycho on the outside of 2. That gives him the inside line at turn 3. Psycho can't get the position, not just yet. He's having a look down the inside here at 4. He's not really committing to an overtake though. Stays behind his teammate. There's Flavius just behind in 12th place as Shizant goes into the pit lane. Lake Show on the back of JBH. Gap is almost 1 second. JBH, you can see there, he's on the soft tyre compared to compared to Lake Show on the medium. So obviously the soft tyre still has a pretty good edge compared to the medium tyre. Either that or JBH is driving the hell out of those soft tyres. Psycho gets by his teammate for P10. Black Baller 6/10 behind. He's losing a little bit of ground to Oscar every lap. Make his job of trying to pass him that little bit more difficult. So he's got an amazing run. Look at the speed. Holy. Not much Oscar can do in this sort of position as Lake Show gets by as well. I don't think Lake Show would be able to do it that far back, but no, it shows you the speed of DRS. The overspeed that it provides. Can't fight back into turn 4. And there's not much you can do here in the middle sector either. You can try for a move at turn 8 if you're feeling gamey, but best thing to do is just to be patient. Wait for the right moment to go for a position. We're getting close to the pit window now. See here, 7 lap old soft tyres. I think the lap window is about lap 9, lap 10 or so. To come in, put on the medium tyres and try and go to the end. Oscar really working away now at Black Baller, trying to get P4 back. Only 3/10 behind. Lake Show's within a second now. And JBH is following the Mercedes. So we're going to have a 4-car train here battling for P4. It's only fitting, really. Heading down towards turn 14. Lake Show. How close are you? 6/10. He might be... Oh, hello. We have Shizant. Shizant has made a mistake. This is at turn 7. The entry at turn 7. It's going again. Here comes Oscar. Here comes Lake Show. Can he get Black Baller? He's looking. Really committing, though. Oscar gets through. A nice run through 2 and 3, but Black Baller is close and he's using up his battery. And he'll get the position back down the inside towards turn 4. And he takes back P4. There's Lake Show. Oh, trying to draw alongside Oscar, and he's done it down the inside at turn 6. What an opportunistic move from Lake Show. Great move. Got fantastic traction out of turn 4. Gave himself the inside line for turn 6, shot himself in front of Oscar. He's now into P5. These soft tyres are probably starting to switch off as well. The medium tyres are starting to get into their element. It's starting to become the better tyre. Coming around turn 11, up the hill towards turn 12. Have to avoid that inside curve. All 4 drivers do as they head around turn 13. Look how close Lake Show is on the back of the Ferrari as they head down towards the final 2 turns. KD is into the pit lane at the end of lap 9. Coming in more than likely for the medium compound tyre. And there it is, the medium tyre. And, oh! I thought Lake Show was committing going into the pit lane, but no, he wasn't. He faked it. Oh, dearie me. Car coming out of the pits on the exit as well. That's Shizant. So Lake Show is now in 2nd place. Oscar in 3rd. JBH in 4th. As Renner Jr. and Black Baller pit onto fresh medium compound tyres. Heading down towards turn 4. No one really in a position to attack here. What's going on back here? Renner Jr. in front of his teammate Flavius, who has got Noah right behind. Then Black Baller. E12. Did he have a front wing change? Out of curiosity? Just want to see quickly. Yeah, he did. He had a front wing change. He lost 5 seconds in that stop. Noah very close to Flavius as they head down the hill towards turn 8. Oh, he's looking down the inside. Flavius leaves the door open and lets Noah through into P10. And Flavius will get DRS, which will help him out. Don't think he'll try and go for the position. He'll just try and follow Noah as best he can. Use up that DRS. Renner, meanwhile, he won't want to stay behind Psycho for too long. He would like to get by as soon as possible. Looking down the inside here. Oh, he backed out of that. Probably a wise thing to do. Turn 13 really isn't an overtaking spot. He's drawing alongside Psycho. He gets in front before the corner, which would mean Psycho gets DRS. Now, will Psycho stay out or will he be going into the pits? This time around, he's going in. Fair enough. He'll be pitting onto a set of medium tyres. JBH on a set of mediums now. Same with Oscar. And we're battling with Black Baller. When did Black Baller come out relative to them? Look at that. Big gap between the two Ferraris. 4 seconds. It will close up just a little bit. You'll have fresher tyres and a whole heap of momentum. Fresher tyres. Up to temperature tyres, I should say. So the gap 3.2, 3.3 seconds there. That's really unfortunate. Black Baller has lost a significant amount of time because of that. Half a second separating JBH and Oscar. They're going to resume their battle for what could be provisional 4th place. We'll have to wait and see how the other strategies pan out. And of course, wait and see if there are any safety cars at any point during this race. The rest of the field is pretty well spread out at this point. We're heading into that mid-phase where people are doing their stops and whatnot. And the field starts to spread out. Hopefully towards the end the field condenses again and we get some battles here and there. It'll be very fun to watch. As KD sets a new fastest lap with a 1 minute 29.369. I doubt he'll keep it. Once the medium runners pit onto the soft tyre, they're going to be very, very rapid on fresh soft tyres. Laquito is into the pit lane after just 11 laps on the medium tyre and pits onto a set of softs. It appears that he might be trying a 2-stop because those soft tyres definitely won't make it from here. JBH looking down the inside into turn 1 on Oscar Toll. They're side by side around the opening hairpin. Around turn 2, Oscar has the inside line, but JBH fights back. Down the straightaway we go towards turn 4. Oscar has DRS, but he's on the outside. Can he stay on the outside at turn 4? JBH cuts in front of the Aston Martin and moves himself into P8. Now Flavius, he's going to get involved in this battle in a little bit. There he is there. Got the 2 cars right behind, closing in at a rate of knots. As Rafa gets overtaken by Renner Jr. Rafa losing time here. He's going to be overtaken by Noah as well. Drops down to P6. Meanwhile, KD and Lake Show change positions as well. Flavius being overtaken by JBH. Oscar's going to try and follow the Ferrari here. Surely he'll try and follow the Ferrari. Flavius holding it on the outside. He's entitled to, but he lets Oscar through into P8. So both cars get by, thanks to a bit of cooperation there from Flavius. Really nice driving to see there. Diluto is into the pit lane. Drop out of the lead, drop down to 3rd at the moment. Where does Renner come out relative to the Alpine? He comes out in front of Diluto, and Noah is in front of Diluto as well. There's Oscar, there's Oscar. He's close. Not close enough. Black Ball is now on the back of Flavius. He's done a mega job trying to catch up to the 2 in front. Now gets by Flavius into 8th place. That gap between JBH and Oscar and Black Baller, that used to be about 3.3 seconds. It shrunk to 1.2. Mega bit of driving from the Ferrari driver to close that gap. Let's see here. No, he's 7/10 behind. He's on old tyres though. I wonder what his game plan is. I'm guessing he's just banking on a bit of luck from a safety car or virtual safety car or something. Because those tyres, I doubt they'd make it. He's done 10 laps of them already. We've still got a lot of laps to get through. We've got, I think, 17 laps to get through, or 16 and a bit to be more accurate. But still, what I'm trying to say is that we've got a long time until the checkered flag, so he has to make another stop. Also sporting the balaclava, no helmet in that car. That's because he joined mid-qualifying. He's in the Sebastian Vettel mobile. You can tell from the number 5 on the car. Down towards turn 1. Not really in a position to get by Darluto, though. I'm sure he'd like to get by Noah and try and challenge Renner for 3rd place as they head down towards turn 4. He has 3/10 of a second, but he can't really do anything here. He's not close enough, and he doesn't have enough momentum to try and attack at turn 4. We've got a few obscure places to try and pass as he apparently goes purple to the first sector. Darluto can try here at turn 8, and in fact, Noah leaves the door wide open for Darluto to get by. Very sportsmanlike there from Noah. He didn't have to do that. He's entitled to fight for that position because he is in that position, but he left the door open for Darluto. Darluto goes through and he can resume his battle with Renner Jr. Plenty of sportsmanship on show tonight. Very nice. I like sportsmanship. Sparks fly as JBH goes around turn 11. You see that a lot here in Bahrain. Just these random sparks just fly out from the bottom of the car. It's not too common around many other racetracks, but definitely here in Bahrain you see a lot of sparks. Heading down towards turns 14 and 15. The gap is half a second between these two as Noah goes into the pit lane. That further explains why he was so generous to Darluto. He's coming in. It's for another set of medium compound tyres, and these tyres can definitely go to the end from here. He's going to have to drive out of his skin though. He's going to drop down to probably P11 behind Mighty Wombat. I don't think he'll drop any further back than that. He's in the points, which is the main thing. Top 15 score points. He's got a lot of work to do. JBH Oscar still scrapping out. Darluto very close to Renner right now as I head over the crest towards 9 and 10. Not really an overtaking spot here. Oh, Renner runs a tad bit wide. Here comes Darluto. He's got a great run out to turn 11. Looks to the inside. Renner does not put up a fight and he's through into 3rd place. That's those little mistakes that can cost you. It's a teeny one, just missing the apex. Maybe driving into the corner a bit too fast as well at turn 10. Renner just missing the corner, using a bit of extra outside curb, and it cost him dearly. Sometimes in motorsport, especially in Formula 1, it's all about those fine margins, those tiny mistakes. They do add up and they can cost you. Fortunately for Renner though, he does have DRS and he will be able to keep up with Darluto. He won't be able to drive away even though he's on pressure tyres. DRS is just that powerful here. As Laquito gets by Flavius, that's at the inside of the penultimate turn. At 14, Oscar gets by JBH as well, down the inside at turn 1. A nice move there from Oscar. JBH can't quite fight back either. Got a run, but yeah, can't fight back. Flavius gets back by. Oh, Laquito trying to... Oh, the two make contact! Oh, what a clumsy looking incident between those two there. Oh dear, oh dear. It sort of looked like Laquito was half committed going down the inside. And it looked like he kind of backed out. Oh, as Noah, he's spun. He's dropped down to 12th place now. Oh dear. Yeah, it just looked like from the outboard that Laquito was sort of half committed going down the inside. And he was sort of in this indecision of actually committing to the move or just backing out as Shizant has spun at turn 10. He gets going again. And as a result, Flavius thought he was going to back out, so he just took the apex. But then Quito So just parked the car on the apex. The two made contact. And both lost time. Laquito, he might have wing damage from that. Not sure. I mean, I would probably chalk it up as a racing incident, because it's sort of in those indecisive mindset of whether committing to the move to the inside or backing out. Because it looked like a very low-speed accident. It's not like Laquito pile drives into the back of Flavius, put him into a spin. He sort of committed to the inside, then backed out, then committed again, and backed out again. And they both just were put into a very awkward position. Fortunately, they're both still in the race as Mighty Wombats overtakes Flavius there before turn 1. Yeah, it just looked like, from the outboard, a fairly clumsy accident between the two of them. As these three, still in a group, Black Bull are just a little bit outside of DRS range. He's within touching distance of the two in front. He just needs to find a bit more time as JBH moves to the inside to try and break the toe. Oscar's not having any of it, following that Ferrari as best he can. Around turn 12. Into the final sector now, around turn 13. Gap is half a second. If Oscar can get a half-decent run out of the final corner, he might be able to challenge JBH as Lake Show finally goes into the pit lane and he'll be pitting onto the soft tyre. Oscar gets a pretty solid run, but so does JBH. You see the interval increase between JBH and Oscar, but he's got DRS and look at him, close the gap. JBH, will he go for it? Oh, he had so much momentum. Oh, a little bit of contact as well. You could hear it. You could hear it. Just a little thud, nothing major, just a tiny, teeny-weeny thud. Alright, Flavius and Laquito take 2. And this time, no scuffle between the two drivers here at turn 1. Good to see. There's also... it's Laquito runs wide. They're side by side through 2. Laquito has a nose in front, and here comes Noah in 11th place with a whole heap of momentum. Can he get 2 for 1 here into turn 4? He's looking on the racing line. Contact between Laquito and Noah. They're continuing to make contact, and Noah gets through into 9th place. Rafa also trying to cut his way through. He's overtaken Flavius for P12. His next target is his own teammate Laquito in P10. Laquito is on those soft compound tyres compared to Noah on 2 lap-old mediums. Noah's been recovering ever since that spin earlier in the race. And also, whatever happened on the opening 3 laps for Noah, as Laquito is looking down the inside into turn 11. Noah fights back though around the outside of 11. It gives him the inside line for turn 12 as they head around the right-hander. I thought Laquito spun out there. Noah gets in front. He moves himself into 9th. He leaves himself a tad bit vulnerable because the cars behind will have DRS as JBH and Oscar are battling for position here at turn 1. A little bit of contact again. Now Black Baller is on the end of us. So we got 2 Ferraris and an Aston Martin battling for 4th place as they head down towards turn 4. Noah goes into the pit lane. Interesting. He might have got wing damage at some point during that battle. JBH, Oscar, oh, it's tight. It's very tight through turn 6, but JBH stays in front. The 2 Red Bulls are battling for position as well. Rafa gets in front of his teammate Laquito. Back to this. Black Ball are just chilling on the back of this train as they head around turn 10, heading onto the back straightaway. Both Oscar and Baller will have DRS heading down towards 11, but you can't really do anything in this sort of position. Be interesting to see what happens though heading onto the main straight. Speaking of which, KD well out in front. He's got a 16.9 second lead to Darluto in P2. He is well and truly checked out. Heading down towards turn 14. Hard on the brakes. 3rd gear. Short shifting on the exit. Alrighty. I reckon Oscar is close enough to attack into turn 1, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Looking down the inside, heading down towards the opening turn. JBH tries to fight on the outside. Can he get the over-under done? The answer is no. Through turn 2, through turn 3. JBH is close. He's got DRS trying to follow the Aston. He looks to the inside. Doesn't go for the move though. Oh, Black Baller having to take a little bit of avoiding action as JBH broke early for turn 4. You can see the sudden dart to the left from Black Baller's Ferrari. Just trying to avoid his teammate. Nice bit of awareness there. Two Red Bulls still close together on track. Liquidity not bothering to use any DRS there. That's interesting to see. Flavius Isteb on soft tyres now. Noah overtakes a pair of them and moves himself into P12, where I think he'll finish unless there's a safety car. Around turn 8, Liquito is close, not close enough though to attack his teammate. And we got this battle pack for 4th. Heading around turn 13. And down towards turn 14. Oscar is going to be a bit of a sitting duck to both Ferraris, if I'm honest, as Liquito gets by his teammate Rafa. That was at turn 11. I'm sure Rafa will get the position back with DRS on the next lap. Here comes JBH with a whole heap of momentum. Gets by Oscar. Black Baller's going to do the same. Or at least try to. Oscar goes deep into turn 1. They're side by side. And Oscar keeps P5. Credit to the Aston Martin driver. Very tight. Oh, a big wiggle. How did he save that? That was a mega wiggle, mega tank slapper from Oscar. And somehow, some way, he saved it. That car was almost completely perpendicular to the racetrack at one point. But he saved it. What an awesome bit of driving to save it. As Noah sets a new fastest lap with a 28.8. Lake Show's now joined the party. It's now a 4-car train again, and it's the same 4 cars. But this time, Lake Show's got the advantage. He is on fresher, softer compound tyres as Shizen's scratched out at turn 4. Will we see a safety car? The answer is yes. We have a safety car. The first safety car of the race on lap 21 of 29. Oh, Darluto. Big check up there, trying to not get a drive-through penalty. He'll probably duck into the pit lane. No, he doesn't. I mean, you have the opportunity to go onto soft tyres. I think you got to take it. Soft tyres are just that much quicker. Both Ferraris are surely coming. Yeah, both Ferraris are coming in. Oscar's in. Lake Show can stay out. Oh, that's a late pull out from Oscar. You saw that there. On Lake Show's onboard, crossing the white line, rejoining the racetrack. So he takes track position last second. Moves himself into 3rd. Black Baller will get a bit of a double stack. He'll end up behind Lake Show, but that won't concern him too greatly. Both Red Bulls are going into the pits for fresh tyres. I think Psycho should do the same. Psycho should definitely do the same. Yeah. Nice and easy into the pits. You don't need to push. You can take it nice and easy into pit lane, not do anything silly. Mighty Wombat can afford to stay out. He might snag a few positions here if he's lucky. Got 2. Can he get a 3rd? It's tight. It's tight. He's in front, I think. I believe he is in front. No, the game says no. Interesting. Oh, there's the safety car. Hi, safety car. How are you? Okay, so he's in front now. Interesting. KD is going into the pit lane. What's Darluto going to do? Surely he'll come in. Yeah, and that's precisely what he's going to do. And he comes for a set of soft compound tyres. Up go the jacks. Away he leaves. I just want to check something. A bit further back than that. Dum-da-dum. And Oscar's done the same. And he's now on fresh, soft compound tyres. Righto. I have to say, KD got awfully lucky that the safety car came out behind him, not in front. Otherwise, he wouldn't have had that big window of opportunity to pit for fresh tyres. He is awfully lucky. Darluto, Renner, they're all on fresh, soft compound tyres. It's now just a sprint race to the checkered flag from here on out. Everyone should be able to catch up, except for maybe Noah and Fixer. They're a fair way behind, but I think they should be able to catch up. This race now been injected with a whole heap of drama with this safety car. Gives drivers like Darluto and Renner the opportunity to try and go for the lead. And potentially for these guys like JBH, Oscar, Lake Show to fight for podium places when they should have been fighting for 4th place without the safety car. Just want to check penalties as well. 3 seconds for Darluto, 8 seconds for Mighty Wombat, 3 seconds for Liquito. He just got that then. High Step has 3 seconds, Noah has 3 seconds, and Rafixa has 3 seconds. And they're still trying to catch up to the tail of this train. The safety car could potentially do one more lap. We'll wait and see if it's required. Probably don't need the tyre graphic. Everyone's on the soft tyres now, so we'll probably just keep it on the penalty graphic. So we'll have those up on screen. So if the safety car goes in this lap, it would mean we'll have 5 laps until the checkered flag, which would mean DRS would be available at the start of lap 27. If we do an extra lap, we have to wait until lap 28 for DRS to be enabled. I'm mentioning that because overtaking without DRS can be a bit tricky in these types of cars where following one another isn't exactly the easiest thing to do. This might be a late call in from the safety car because Rafixa, he's almost on the back of the train. Naturally speaking, the safety car lights will go out at the end. At the end of sector 2. You can see there they're still on, but I think if Rafixa catches up to that train while the cars are on this straightaway, I think the safety car will duck back into the pits. Keep an eye on the leader. Might be a very, very late call in from the safety car. Oof. No, thank goodness. Righto. I hate it when the safety car gets pulled in very late. It usually messes a whole heap of things up. So fortunately we are doing another lap. Rightio. So that would mean when we go back on the green flag running, it'll be lap 26. 4 laps to go. We'll have 26, 27, 28 and 29. DRS will be enabled on 28. Run through the order as well, seeing as we had the opportunity to do so. We've got KD in front. He's led every single lap of this race. Put the car in pole position by a humongous margin. He's looked set to win, but the car's directly behind him. It's going to be very tough to try and keep them at bay heading into turn 1. Darluto in P2. He's got a 3-second time penalty though, so he's got a bit of work to do. A lot of revving there trying to dump some fuel. Renner Jr. P3, JBH P4, Oscar P5, Lake Show P6. Great drive from him so far. He'll be looking to get a big reward from this drive. Black Baller P7, Mighty Wombat P8, Liquito in 9th. Both drivers have time penalties. Mighty Wombat has 8 seconds, Liquito has 3. Rafa P10, Flavius P11, then Psycho P12, then Ice Dev P13, Noah P14, Rafixa P15. Those final 3 drivers, as you can see, have 3-second time penalties each. Safety car is in this lap. Yes, Martin safety car takes off. Will go back into its natural habitat in the pit lane. Safety car, KD controlling the field, heading down the straight. He can dictate whatever speed he wants to during this period. Dictate whatever speed he wants to go. So he's crawling the field down towards the final 2 turns. And now he takes off. Heading down the main straightaway, the gap is 2.5 tenths of a second as we're back on the green flag running. Heading down towards turn 1, Darluto is closing in, 1.5 tenths. 1/10 of a second. Does he go for it? He's trying down the inside of turn 1. They're going to make their way around turn 2. KD keeps the car in front. Heading around turn 3 towards 4. Darluto is close. He's looking to the outside here. Renault and JBH are battling for position as well. Lovely camera shot here. Contact between Darluto and KD as the Alpine gets in front and takes the lead. Renault trying to hang on to 3rd place as well. He's got a Ferrari. And JBH looking down the inside into turn 8. It's tight between the 2 drivers. Renault gets the exit that he needs and the inside line for turn 9. And he keeps his Alfa Romeo in front. Oscar's lost a little bit of time to the top 4. Needs to try and close that gap. Lake Show, he'll be looking to get by Oscar as soon as possible. Black Baller just behind. Noah and Ice Steph changed positions. Refixer's made up a couple off this safety car restart. KD half a second behind. He'll be looking to take that lead back, I'm sure. Through turn 14, then turn 15. Gap is less than half a second. No DRS available just yet. Can overtake. You got to do it the old-fashioned way. KD's got a whole heap of momentum. Looking out of the slipstream. Won't commit to a move here in turn 1. Not quite close enough to do anything. Through turn 2, around turn 3. Now towards turn 4. Gap is 2 tenths. Just under 2 tenths now. As Lake Show is trying to defend from Black Baller, who is looking on the racing line here. At turn 4, it's tight between the 2 drivers, but Black Baller gets through into P6. While these 4, they all have a chance to win here. Bit of a wiggle there from Renner Jr. at the exit of turn 8, around 9 and 10. 4 cars all within a second of one another, and next lap we'll have DRS. Renner's losing a little bit of ground to KD. He needs to stay within that 1 second range as best he can. Monty Wombat pressuring Lake Show as they head around turn 11 up the hill towards 12. Renner's now outside of that 1 second range. He needs to get it back within it. He's just hovering outside of it. Needs to use whatever battery he's got down this main straight. So he's within 1 second of KD at the DRS detection zone. Otherwise, his chance for a win might be well and truly over as Darluto sets another fastest lap. JVH is just behind as well, as you can see in P3. DRS now enabled. Sector 3 yellows, that's Rafixa in the Haas. He has spun out at the final turn, drops down to 15th. Fortunately, he's still running. Everyone who finishes will score points. Down towards turn 4. Wombat do something here? Oh, I reckon he thought about it. I reckon he thought about going for a move. It's a There's a bit of reluctance though, because he does have those 8 seconds worth of penalties. Every position he gains from here on out would effectively mean nothing, as JBH gets by Renner Jr. at the exit of turn 8. A bit more ground while he's at it. KD half a second behind. Around turn 12. He doesn't have to do anything silly, as Icedev has a spin. This is at turn 10. KD can just stay behind Darluta. He'll take the win. The racing driver and all of us would want to finish this race as a winner on track, not just through penalties. As we begin the final lap, lap 29 of 29, and here comes KD with a whole heap of momentum and takes the lead back heading into turn 1. Darluto can do nothing. Renner, JBH side by side through turn 1. Around turn 3 they go. Black Baller has gotten by Oscar Toll as well. Darluto, can he fight back here into turn 4? It's tight here. KD keeps the car in front. Oh, Darluto tries to draw alongside, but he can't quite do it. Lake Show, Mighty Wombat battling for P7 and 8. Lake Show keeps the car in front. Renner and JBH here battling for P3 and 4. 7-10 separating these two. I think Renner's got it. Oh, as KD's run a tad bit wide. Darluto still trying to find a way by. Heading down towards turn 11, doesn't go for the move. As Rafa overtakes his teammate Laquito, moves himself into 9th. Around turn 12 for the final time. Around turn 13, KD's starting to drive away. Down towards the penultimate turn for the final time. It's been an amazing effort from KD. Got pole position by 7/10. Has led almost every lap of this race. It's been a very commanding drive. KD will win the Bahrain Grand Prix. JBH will finish in 2nd, followed by Renner Jr. in 3rd. Darluto just missing out on the podium thanks to that 3-second time penalty. Black Baller finishing 5th, followed by Oscar Toll, Lake Show, Rafa, Laquito, and Psycho rounds out the top 10. And we'll have Mighty Wombat, Flavius, Noah, Rafixa, and Icestep. Fair enough. Started from last place, finished well inside the top 10. It was a great effort from Lake Show. And equally so from his teammate KD, who takes another win in the America Series, extending his championship lead. Championship chances pretty much secure at this point. He will have a huge lead heading into round 11. And quite untouchable. JBH will be pretty happy with P2. And Renner finishing P3, I'm sure he'll be pretty happy with that as well. But the unofficial results of this Bahrain Grand Prix. KD 1997 wins with fastest lap as well, taking a full complement of points here tonight in Bahrain. JBH will finish in 2nd place after starting from 4th. Renner Jr. finishing 3rd after starting from 5th. Darluto cross the line P2, finishes P4 thanks to penalties. Black Baller P5. Oscar P6. Lake Show from 18th on the grid, finishing P7, making up 11 places. Awesome effort. Rafa from P17 to P8, another big effort, making up 9 places over the course of the race. Laquito P9, Psycho P10, and Mighty Wombat P11, qualified 3rd. Yeah, just not a great race, unfortunately, for the Williams driver. Flavius P12, Noah P13, Icestep P14, and Rafixa P15. Our retirement, Shizant, Snake and Beans, and Lob. 18 cars started, 15 finished. We had a fairly interesting finish as well, thanks to that late safety car. Well, it seems that we're stuck on this screen, which is awesome. That's always awesome to see, because this game is fantastic. Well, I think with everything said and done, we could probably wrap up the stream. Not a bad race here at Bahrain, but we all kind of expected that because it's Bahrain. It just does this naturally. It's very rarely boring at Bahrain. But yep, with everything finally over, we can now wrap up the stream. Tune in throughout the week, as there's still plenty of racing to come here on Race Spec Esports, but for the America Series, we'll have to wait until next week. Until then, I've been Lane Everingham. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you for round 11 of the championship at the Jeddah Corniche circuit for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. That's going to be an interesting race, so definitely tune in for next week, because we're going to see a lot of drama at Jeddah. But until next time, it's goodbye.